Hello everybody and happy Friday. Let's talk a little bit about Palantir and get deep into Palantir. Palantir is retreating a little bit in price, currently down around 5% for the day. However, you need to compare Palantir to, for example, Snowflake, C3 AI, and Datadog. And if you do, Snowflake is actually down 6.5%, Datadog is actually down around 3.5%, and C3 AI is also down around 2.5%, which means that Palantir is not abnormally retreating. It is going with the rest of the trend of SaaS companies, of software companies, so on and so forth. But for many of you guys, you wish for the price of Palantir to retreat so that you can scoop up thousands of shares. So now is your opportunity to get some more Palantir. But in all seriousness, I wanted to bring you two pieces of content in this specific video. The first piece of content is so that you guys can start understanding exactly how early we are in this data game. Samuel put out a tweet earlier. I'm going to show it to you in just a moment. The entire amount of data that's currently being processed in the world is just a speck compared to what it's going to be in just 10 years from now. I mean, literally, if you take this is the entire world, this is where we are right now. Literally, this little piece, that's where we are right now. And we have so much room to grow when it comes to data and extra data and more data. And guess what? AI data analytics companies are going to be processing this data. So I'm going to go over to that in just a moment when I go to my desk. And the second thing that I really wanted to talk about today is I wanted to go over an article where Palantir is in Ukraine and they're actually using the Palantir kit. Palantir came out with like this MacGyver 007 little, backpack kit that can throw bombs and nuclear weapons and have drones flying. In all seriousness, it's a dope ass kit. And everyone's like, oh, this is just a gimmick. It's not actually going to be used. Well, lo and behold, I just read an article that Palantir is in fact giving these kits to Ukraine, and Ukraine is using these kits in the actual battlefield. And make no mistake about this, the United States is doing their own research and development, funding Palantir so that Palantir can figure out what actually works, and then Palantir can apply all of these things that works to the United States military. At the end of the day, you agree with it, you don't agree with it, this is what's happening right now, and the bottom line of Palantir and the price of Palantir in the future is significantly, in my perfectly humble opinion, significantly gonna prosper and go up because of what's happening today. The reason why all these companies cannot, and I repeat, cannot, including Datadog, C3 AI, Snowflake, and a bunch of other companies, cannot catch up to Palantir is quite simple. When Palantir says they're 5 years ahead, they are being funded by the United States military. All the research and development that they're doing in the commercial space is already done 5 years in advance in the government sector. And because of that, by the time all these companies are investing into research and development, Palantir is already working on the next thing. Guess what? Funded by the United States military. What's happening in Ukraine is literally called research and development that Palantir is actually being paid for besides for being supplied with. It's really, really insane if you think about it, and a very good thing for Palantir and Palantir shareholders. Let's join me by the desk, but before I go any further, please click on the link down below. I have a link to Discord. We talk about cryptocurrency, stocks, real estate, the economy, and we talk about side hustles. If you guys don't know, I have 5 different channels. Feel free to sign up to all of them. And now, let's walk on over to my desk and let me show you this data chart, and then I'm gonna show you this article about Palantir's Palantir kit. All right, guys, first and foremost, this is Samuel. He has an amazing YouTube channel, very, very underrated, at Sam Messier. Please follow him, and he's super young. If I was doing what he's doing at a young age like his, I would be worth like $50 million. The guy is super on point. Definitely check him out. You go a little bit lower, he puts out this chart right here. IDC says AI market will grow at a 25.5% compound annual growth rate between 2022 and 2026 to reach a 191 billion in 2026. The fastest growth is expected in AI-centric and AI software, with AI services second, non-AI-centric software, and AI hardware last. Okay, guys, so if you think about this, this market's growing to 191 billion by 2026, and AI software and AI services account for almost 60%. I mean, this is absolutely massive. Really, really, really huge. And the fact of the matter is, it's it's not going to stop after that, right? Because there's about to be a AI war right now between Microsoft, Google, and so many other companies. And what I like about Palantir is the pick and shovel play of data. Let me show you another chart, also by Samuel. For people who can't comprehend how the hell cloud and software will thrive for years to come, all this data will have to be processed and run by semis. To capture data I own, and then he says what he owns. And somebody asked him, why is Palantir not here? Because he says these are just companies that I own or companies that I'm researching. And he actually sold out of Palantir, if I'm not mistaken. Check this chart out. In 2010, okay, each of these numbers, by the way, is 1 billion terabytes. So in 2010, we had 2 terabytes. 5 years later, that's 6x to 12 terabytes. It more than doubled by 2018 by 33 terabytes, 47 terabytes in 2020, and it over tripled, nearly quadrupled in the next 5 years, okay? At 175 terabytes, estimated to be 612 by 2030, and 2,142 billion terabytes. 2,142 billion terabytes by 2035. Palantir allows you to take all the data that you're putting on these cloud services like Amazon, IBM, Microsoft, Google, Oracle, I believe they work with, and a couple of other cloud providers. But they have around half of all of the market share when it comes to cloud computing. They're partners in some way, shape, or form. And Palantir allows you to be cloud agnostic, which means you could take your data, and if you move it to another cloud, you can still use Palantir. That's the strength of Palantir. That's why Palantir absolutely 100% is the pick and shovel play when it comes to data. And if you believe in these statistics and you believe in these charts, even a quarter of what they say, this market is going to be absolutely massive. And remember, one of the few companies that is a true pick and shovel play that's transformative and takes your data, that you can actually use the data to make yourself better, your business better, your government better, so on and so forth, both domestically and abroad, is Palantir. And that's the difference between Palantir and everybody else. Everyone else uses these PowerPoints, and what Karp said is these PowerPoints don't actually in reality work. It's in theory working, but Palantir in reality works. Now, a lion's share of this data is going to go to the Microsofts, the Amazon, the Google. But the actual processing of this data, a big share is going to go to companies like Palantir. Not only, of course, but you don't need only. You just need a small share of that $161 billion market that's going to grow, and a small share of that 2,142 billion terabytes. This is an article that came out about Ukraine. This is the Palantir kit. I called it Palantir kit. It's the Sky kit, my bad. And again, everyone thought that this was a gimmick. But lo and behold, it's not. Ukrainian armed forces use Sky kit by Palantir. The Ukrainian military was provided with modern Sky kit autonomous intelligence centers, which means you can do a shit ton on the field. This was reported by the French Le Express media, which cited its own sources. According to the media, the director of Palantir, Alex Karp, said that his company is responsible for part of the targeting designations in Ukraine. He didn't say part of, he says almost all of it. Let me just correct that. He said almost all of the targeting, digital targeting, is done by Palantir. In June 2022, the Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky met with the director of Palantir Technologies in Kiev. Alex Karp was the first CEO to actually step foot on Ukrainian soil while everybody else was meeting on Zoom and all that bullshit. Alex Karp was on the freaking ground. Palantir Technology, as leading data analytics company, officially unveiled SkyKit in January 2023. Presumably, the Ukrainian military received the system before its official presentation. Remember what I was saying, research and development, Palantir is doing on-the-job training funded by the military. In this case, subsidized by the United States military for the Ukrainian military, and then the Ukrainian military sponsored the research and development in SkyKit. Basically, Palantir is getting paid to come up with products, and then these products are going to be used for commercial use in the future. This is how it works, and it's lovely. Palantir SkyKit is a fully autonomous reconnaissance center, giving soldiers an advantage over opponents. SkyKit contains 2 built-in monitors, built-in rechargeable power supplies, and a special laptop. It also has a quadricopter drone and a small telecom nano camera. In comparison, Russia is now asking people to use homemade drones, And they're using the homemade drones to be able to see what's happening. And the Ukrainian military is using these sky kits. And I'm not trying to make light of the situation, but that's the difference. Russia's using pen and paper while Ukraine has state-of-the-art technology that literally no other country is using currently. It's insane. The system is designed to enable soldiers to efficiently process intelligence, decision-making, and perform operations from remote locations using software from Palantir. It allows users to set tasks and analyze data from anywhere on the battlefield. And this is just it shows you how it is. There's the two screens. Over here goes the drone, a bunch of different battery packs so it doesn't run out. It's beautiful. SkyKit has its own secure satellite communications due to SkyKit's meta-constellation software. The Ukrainian soldiers can connect to one of 40 commercial satellites, analyze data, collect by various artificial intelligence manuals, and thus to see the enemy. Guys, this is next freaking level. And this is Skylink right here, if I'm not mistaken. This is Elon Musk's Skylink. Guys, it's clear to see that Palantir is 100% in the game. It's clear to see that Palantir has the ability to grow not only in the private but also public sector. That's why I broke down this video into two different segments. I want you to understand that Palantir is winning on both sides, military and non-military. Military is going to keep growing, non-military is going to keep growing. Guess what else is going to keep growing? Palantir. And eventually the price of Palantir is going to catch up to where it should be. Right now, Palantir's price, even with this run up to $10, should at a minimum, Palantir should be trading at double where it is right now. Is it so crazy what I'm saying? Imagine what's going to happen when all of this technology catches up and people are like, oh man, this technology actually exists. We can use it. How many countries, governments are going to be paying a shit ton of money for exactly the same technology? Because it's going to come to a point where if you don't have this, you're almost certainly going to lose. And if you don't click on this video down below, you are certainly going to miss out on more data, knowledge, and entertainment. Enjoy the rest of your weekend. Take care and brush your hair.